top of it. It's gone, all gone. I don't know. It's crazy.
We just have people to step up and get the job done when it needs to be done.
We also had neighbors who were watching out for neighbors.
You can just look around this room and see the resilience and the commitment to each other and why this community will recover strong.
We are going to rebuild Indian Lake.
Right now at 6, there have been 3 tornadoes confirmed here in central Ohio, an EF3 in Orchard Island that spread across the Indian Lake area, and an EF1 in Licking County, plus an EF2 in Crawford County.
Right now, crews are still working to survey damage in Delaware County. Thanks for sticking with us at 6. I'm Andrew Kinsey.
And I'm Yolanda Harris. Now, we do know that 3 people have died because of those storms in the EF3 tornado up in Logan County.
You can see the damage here, the destruction from overhead in Drone 10. Our crews have also been on the ground throughout the day, including 10 TV's Angela Ann and Jerry Martz. They've been right in the middle of the chaos all day.
Andrew, Yolanda, I want you to just take a look at this. This is a Mexican restaurant that really got hit. That patio rooftop is down. Clearly, it is not open now, so it's going to be some time before they clean up. I spoke with a cook who says there were 20 people inside this restaurant when that tornado came through. They all sheltered behind a bar. But really, we talked to so many people who said they did whatever they had to do to find a way to escape this tornado. I want you to see some video from a gentleman that we talked to. He has 2 cottages, and I said, well, what did you do? Here's what he said. He was inside his cottage on Maple Street. It's right behind the Indian Head restaurant that a lot of people here know. Rick Rusick says his bathroom was the most interior part of his cottage, and the only thing that looked sturdy was the toilet. So he said he literally wrapped himself around that toilet and held on. Once that tornado passed, he came out of the bathroom and saw his 2 cottages just destroyed. I asked him, will you talk to us about what happened? He was clearly very traumatized about what he just went through. And can you imagine walking out of just a bathroom and just seeing the rest of your cottage simply gone? That's what people here in Logan County experienced. And I know, Jerry, you've been talking to so many people who have similar stories.
It is absolutely incredible, the perseverance and the people that have those stories telling. One other thing I've actually seen over the past half hour or so, Angela, is people walking out with what they can carry. There's no power, no gas. Well, there's still water and some sewage, but it doesn't do any good. You really don't have to, you can't survive or stay here, especially with the cool nights coming up as it really into next week. So people are carrying baskets, some armloads of things, and some personal effects and belongings. And as you heard earlier from other people, including some of the folks that you interviewed, they will persevere and rebuild, but it's going to take time. And this is, as we're walking around surveying the damage in the finish of the day, we're really looking at the opportunity to assess some of this in a real up close. We're seeing boats stacked upon boats. We're seeing buildings and buildings, items that have been displaced hundreds of feet, if not more. And that's just what we can see from the ground. So it really is telling just the power of these storms. And we, in fact, are next to a building where Bob Weiner actually rode the storm out as he was finishing up his work last night.
Rode out the storm. I opened the door once and it tried to jerk the door out of my hand. Wow. When I was still in there, and I got it back shut, and I stayed there until it calmed down a little bit. Then I come out and it was a mess.
Was there enough light when you came out to kind of get a sense to what happened?
Yeah.
And what was your reaction when you came out of that room?
Holy crap. It was bad.
And Bob shared with us that it was looking ominous. He got a notification from his son by way of a phone call, Lanny, to get into a safe place. I'll put that nicely. There's some colorful language involved there, but Bob was able to smile and just think back in a short time ago on how it was a very treacherous situation that ended up for him okay. We are on Orchard Island right now where things, the first full day, kind of coming to a close. A lot of progress has been made, but a lot of work to be done, and I'm sure in the coming days and weeks and months, that it will. Back to you, Yolanda, Andrew.
All right, thank you, Jerry. Oh, just the devastation. You just,
Yeah.
My heart goes out to everyone out there. Incredible stories coming out of that area.
Yeah, while they're so thankful to be safe there, it is a long road, as you can see from the debris back there, to make sure the folks there have a safe place to stay.
10 TV's Lacey Chris talked to one man who is still working to salvage what he can out there. Lacey?
Well, it's hard to even walk through this mobile home park because there are so many flattened homes and debris, but residents have spent the day cleaning up and salvaging what they could.
So everything's gone. Everything that I had is completely wiped out. I'm trying to scavenge, some clothes, whatever I can get out of here.
Tom Martin has lived here for 30 years. He doesn't have insurance.
He destroyed the living room. Took out that whole wall and the ceiling.
An oak tree has crushed his home, and branches are shooting through Martin's living room. Drone video shows Mother Nature's destruction of the area. Martin considers himself lucky. He wasn't here when the tornado ripped through his community.
If I hadn't have been there, I don't know what would have happened to me, really,
Something he doesn't want to think about.
But it's a good thing I wasn't here.
With the help of family.
If you want to take that, it's a bunch of artwork and stuff where I was going to college, and it's got some drawings and stuff in there.
He's trying to save what's most important.
There's a box of pictures and stuff, and some old coins, stuff that I've had for, 20 or 30 years, and just trying to salvage as much as I can.
So Martin tells me he doesn't know what he's going to do next. He says his kids live nearby, so he's probably going to stay with them until he figures it out. Reporting live, Lacey Crisp, 10 TV News.
Lacey, thanks for sharing that story. As you can imagine, it's been an emotional day around the state. 10 TV's Carla Robner is in Dunn's Pond tonight, and many there are working to survey the damage there as well.
Yeah, that's right. Earlier today, you couldn't even tell that this was a driveway because there were just so many trees that had fallen down and blocked the path. And people have been out here all day working to make these roads passable so people can get in and out. But still, there is a long way to go to recover from the storm in this neighborhood. The storm ripped massive trees out of the ground and tore the roofs off homes. There are several boats we've seen that have been flipped over. We've met a lot of people today who are just in shock to see this damage in what's usually, I'm told, a beautiful and quiet neighborhood. We spoke to one man who was home when the tornado hit. He tells me he doesn't have a basement, and it sounded like a plane was taking off when the tornado hit. He's thankful to be safe, and he was luckier than some of his neighbors, but still has damage to his home, his truck, and his yard.
We're lucky. We're just really lucky all the way around. We'll fix it up and we can go on. There'll be another day some of these times here, so everything it'll work out.
And the road leading into this neighborhood earlier was just lined with cars, most of them not residents here, but people who wanted to come help out, grabbed a chainsaw and started working in a stranger's backyard. A lot of people here just trying to do what they can. Now let's send it over to 10 TV's Doug Petcash, who is at Indian Lake High School. Doug?
Carla, thank you very much. I'm here because the governor and lieutenant governor came here to talk about what they saw after they took a tour of the hardest hit areas by the tornado in the Indian Lakes area. They came here to talk about what they saw and how the state is going to help people. The governor also said he's just so impressed by what he's seeing right here at Indian Lake High School. All of this stuff donated today by people wanting to help those affected by the storm. And a lot of people need the help. The governor and lieutenant governor described the damage as devastating. The governor says his heart goes out to those who have been injured and those who have died. He also says the state will do everything it can to help those who lost homes and businesses. And he's so impressed by the spirit of the people. So is 4th District Congressman Jim Jordan.
I had the chance to talk to some people who have lost their house or lost part of their house or who have been in some way impacted. And to see their spirit and their resilience and their toughness, how strong they are, it's just absolutely amazing to me.
I talked to the sheriff when we walked in. He says, when you step in the gym, you're not gonna believe it. And he was right. It's like in less than 24 hours. It shows the kind of good people we have in, here in God's country in Ohio.
Now, state leaders say right now the focus is on damage assessments to figure out financial assistance. And by the way, at Indian Lake High School, they are the Lakers, and they call all of this you see behind me the Support Lake Effect. Live at Indian Lake High School, Doug Petcash, 10 TV News. Let's go back to Yolanda and Andrew in the studio.
All right, thank you, Doug. All those things will be so greatly needed. Well, Logan County isn't the only area where we are seeing this kind of damage.
Yeah, right now the National Weather Service is working to determine if any tornadoes touch down there in Delaware County.
10 TV's Kevin Landers has been in Delaware all day today talking to families impacted. And Kevin, what have they shared with you?
Well, we just heard within the hour that the Emergency Management Agency here does confirm that a tornado did hit Delaware County, but they're not sure what the wind speeds are. Now, throughout the newscast, we've been telling you about how the storm damage has closed schools and disrupted the electrical grid here in Delaware County. We also wanted to focus on the farming communities. And behind me, you can see this barn collapse on top of this combine. And this is just one of several farming areas that have been hit by the storm. And this is what's left of Francis McNamara's farm on Berlin Station Road. Francis has lived here his entire life, that's more than 80 years, and says he's never seen anything like this. The storm crushed his barn, ripping the roof right off and smashed cinder block walls. But his home was left unscathed, and no one, thankfully, was hurt.
And all of a sudden we could hear the whole house was shaking, and you could hear it. I thought we lost the whole house. I've never seen anything like it in my life, and I hope I never see it again.
Now, there are barns and trees that are uprooted. Behind me, you can see just the left of this metal heap that was once a barn. There are about 9 roads here in Delaware County that are closed, about 1,800 people without power, and there's a lot of cleanup ahead. Reporting live in Delaware County, Kevin Landers, 10 TV News.
All right, thank you very much, Kevin. Just a lot of people just cleaning up, picking up the pieces today. And all day, we've been asking people to share pictures from the storm and damage today so we can help share your stories. You can upload those pictures in the Near Me tab in the 10 TV app. Just look for that. Download the app. It's free. You can also view each other's photos as well.
There's also a confirmed tornado in Lincoln County. That is where we find 10 TV's Terry Jabor tonight.
We're live here in New York. Coming up, we'll show you the damage to this barn here behind me and show you how far some of the debris traveled through this field.
And before we head to break, take a look at your screen now. 10 TV is partnering with the United Way of Logan County to raise funds for those devastated by the tornadoes. You can take a picture to text later, but make sure you get the phone number here. When you text the word donate to 614-460-3345, you'll get a safe donation link sent straight to your phone.
10 TV's Digital Broadcast Center is sponsored by Lindsay Honda.
Tonight, we continue to track that storm damage across central Ohio.
And that includes Licking County, where an EF1 tornado was confirmed by the National Weather Service just a few hours ago.
10 TV's Tara Jabor is there live tonight. And Tara, this is the first time we're really being able to see the impact of the storm there in the county where you are. What do you see?
Well, Andrew, we're here in New York at Shipley Swine Genetics, and the owner, Randy, here told us that he was surprised to see the damage to his barn this morning. Now, I want to show you a little bit about what it looks like. As you can see, the sides of the barn have been ripped out. The front of the barn is completely taken away by this tornado. Luckily, at the time, there were no boars in this barn. The owner told us normally they have boars in here, but pieces of this barn have flown throughout their property. So it's going to be a lot of cleanup for the folks here. You can see a piece of it here stuck in the tree. Other pieces are scattered across throughout the wheat field. Now, they told us that this barn has been around since the 90s. They're having an adjuster come out and look at the property later. Coming up tonight at 11, you'll hear from the owner of this property, and we'll show you more damage around Newark. But for now, reporting live in Newark, Tara Jabor, 10 News.
All right, thank you, Tara. All right, let's get back out to Angela Ann in Lakeview. And Angela, you're there with a homeowner, I understand.
I am. You know, earlier I told you guys about a bunch of boats that were for sale in a parking lot that blew into this neighborhood behind me. Well, most of those went into Steve Gallantine's home. Steve's joining us now. When you came here this morning and saw all these boats and trailers in your home, what did you think?
I didn't think, I couldn't believe it. We did see an area at home in Columbus, right? We live in Columbus. This is our summer home. but it was amazing.
That the storm was that strong, it could blow so many boats.
Maybe the roof would be gone or something, but I could tell that it was bad, but I didn't know all this was going. There was a lot.
Yeah.
There was probably 5 or 6 pontoons over here and a whole bunch of trailers, and they're all over that way.
Well, they're in your front yard now, sir. I'm sorry to tell you that, but this has been pretty emotional for you and your daughter. Yeah. This home has been in your family for generations.
Yeah, since the 40s. My great uncle had it, and then my mom and dad, and now me.
What will you do?
We'll keep it, but I don't know. We're probably going to have to tear the places down and start it over because it's really bad. I mean, it's really when you go inside there, you can tell windows broke out, everything, but we'll still be here.
Yes, we will. Steve, thank you for your time. I know you've got a lot to do, and you know, that's a story that we hear tonight from so many people, that they will rebuild, they'll be back, and they're going to keep going. Back to you.
All right, Angela, thank you so much. All right, that is going to be a process to rebuild there. Michael, this time yesterday, you all warned us that that first wave would come through, and there was still a lingering danger out there because the environment was unstable.
Yeah.
And then that second line came through, and that's when things really sparked. But now, it's cold out there.
Yeah, now it's cold out there. This time yesterday, we were getting concerned because the sun came back out.
Yeah.
We were pushing 70s into the evening, dew points in the 60s. That's really stormy weather, or stormy fuel for weather to develop, and we were given the warning throughout the entirety of the shows last night, all day yesterday, and unfortunately those terms did come to fruition. Today though, like I said, just the cold air pushing back in, down to 50 right now in Columbus. Those temperatures, they're going to be falling close to freezing as we head through tonight. Cold air pushing into the region as winds come out of the north, and believe it or not, by early next week we are heading actually back to the potential for some snow. Those winds right now 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the north. It's coming with clearing skies. You put those two together, and that's a recipe for colder air pushing into the region as we head through tonight. Big picture here shows the clearing already in northern portions of Ohio, back through Indiana and Michigan. That's going to continue to push its way through as we head through tonight, but before long, our next weather system is going to be here as well. You see that snow and rain up toward Canada and Minnesota. That's going to track from Canada all the way down into Ohio as we head between now and tomorrow evening. We're not going to get the snow just yet, but a little bit of light rain going to be heading our way as we head toward late Saturday, early part of Sunday. Let's track that hour by hour. We're looking at pretty clearing skies as we head through tonight. That comes with temperatures that again fall into the 30s as a result. We'll warm up nicely tomorrow though. Lots of sunshine coming in for Saturday. It's going to be a beautiful day out there after we get past the cold start in the morning. The sunshine gets us close to the 60s, if not low 60s by tomorrow afternoon. We'll push those temperatures back down as that cold front comes through, heading into early part of Saturday or Sunday with a little bit of light rain showers. Can't totally say that wouldn't be a stray rumble of thunder, but this is definitely not going to be a thunderstorm event. We will push that out as we head into Sunday. In fact, we'll see more sunshine Sunday too, but we are going to see colder temperatures only working their way to the upper 40s and low 50s by the time we head into Sunday afternoon. That extended forecast shows that chance for snow as we head into Monday. Temperature only reaching 40 for the high, into the 30s for the lows. We'll continue to stay cool for Tuesday and the start of spring, but we'll push those temperatures back up into the 50s as we head toward late next week before our next chance for rain comes back to the region. Of course, with those storms that did come through last night, unfortunately, they left behind damage out there. The tornado scale we've been talking about today goes from 0 to 5. The 0 and the 1, those are some of those lower level types of damage. Unfortunately, we saw things up to 2 in some spots and even up to an EF3, which is going to cause significant damage to a well-built home. Jerry, Chief Meteorologist Doppler 10, has been out exploring some of that damage. Have you seen any of those higher end damage indicators?
Michael, really we have, and one of the things you talked about was the extension, expansion of the damage and getting to that EF3 level. A couple of things struck me as I was touring the island safely during this afternoon. One, there was no leaves on the trees, or I suspect that would have increased the wind load, causing even greater damage than what we've seen. Two, not many two-story or larger structures here on the island. Mercifully, again, we're seeing just lower or single living structures, single floor structures. The third one is that it was a weeknight off season. Had it been a weekend during the summer, completely different outcome. So in one regard, there was a loss of life and there's significant damage, but it could have been a lot worse, and trying keeping that in perspective. We are seeing the damage, and we've talked about this before, what it takes to put boats into the water, pick them out of the water and throw them, what it takes to disrupt sturdy structures and things that are down to the foundation, what it takes to uproot trees from their roots and then watch damage in two different directions, as we're seeing on Fox Island. That's what you're going to get with an EF3 storm, and that's exactly what happened here, unfortunately, last night. Reporting from Indian Lake and Orchard Island, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz. Andrew and Yolanda, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jerry. We're going to take a quick break, but
before we do that, a reminder, if you want to help the Indian Lake community, they are asking for donations, batteries, garbage bags, paper products, toiletries, refrigerator trailers. Emergency officials say you can take those donations to Indian Lake School, where you saw Duck Pat Cash there. We'll be right back.
All right, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're going to continue our team coverage at 11 o'clock tonight.
The CBS Evening News is next. If you're looking for a safe way to donate, make sure your money goes to those impacted. You can contribute by texting the word donate to that number on your screen, 614-460-3345. You'll get a link to the 10 TV's partnership with the United Way of Logan County to raise funds for those impacted by those tornadoes. We'll see you back here tonight at 11.